Hello and welcome into another edition of State of the Sun Devils alongside Jesse Morrison and Jake Anderson. I'm Jeremy Schnell. Now, it's not only us three here today. We're joined by a very special guest, Bobby Hurley, head coach of the ASU Sun Devils men's basketball team. Bobby, thanks for joining us.
Good to be with you guys.
So, Coach, I wanted to get started with talking about kind of how you guys played in your last game on Saturday. After the Colorado game, what'd you say to the guys to kind of get them going, to get them ready for the Utah game?
Well, I mean, it was a heartbreaking loss. I mean, we did some really good work in the Bay to take care of business, and it was a major priority, to win both these games this week. Thought we generated a good lead versus Colorado. In the first half, did not close the half well at all, and it cost us. And had a hard time guarding De Silva, and a lot of people have this year. He's a really good player. So it was disappointing not to get that one, but to bounce back, it was senior night. I think we did a lot more talking, we were more reflective on Friday, and it wasn't as physical to kind of let the guys recover. But I thought we were very determined, in the Utah game. It was a tough game. They've had a lot of success this year. We knew it had the potential to be a real low-scoring game because both teams are very good defensively, and that's kind of how it played out.
So going to Tucson this week, just how difficult is that atmosphere, and just what do you got to do to get that one done against the Wildcats?
We've had some good wins on the road, neutral sites. We've had the Oregon win, the Colorado win, quality wins, but it gets taken to a different level with that crowd. So. We'll have whistles all week in practice, and any touch foul, we're going to blow the whistle, because, especially after I watched our Arizona game yesterday again, we fouled too much, put them on the free throw line. I thought that was, a difference in the game. So we have to be able to be aggressive, with our normal intensity and try and, rely on our defense, but do it in a smart way that we're not committing foolish fouls there.
I know that football coaches obviously kind of tailor their practice schedules based on when they play. With this week being a one-game week and you're only going to have that one game in, probably like 11 days, do you switch up your intensity or how you kind of practice and get ready?
Well, just with, playing two games week after week, and it's late in the season, and, we have some older guys, Des Cambridge, Devin Cambridge. I mean, those guys are so athletic, and they give you so much for those 2 hours on a Saturday that Warren Washington's another guy. So we didn't practice on Sunday. That's normal for our week. And then even yesterday we had more of the guys that have not played as much but are still, need to play a good role the rest of the way for us. They did a lot more of the physical part yesterday, and we gave, additional recovery for the players that played heavy minutes, and so we'll get back today and have a solid practice and just keep gradually building to Saturday.
What's the mood kind of been like with the team since the Utah game going into this week? Obviously a rivalry game.
I haven't seen the guys yet. I had like half the group yesterday in skill workouts, but I'll have the group in front of me today. But I could tell that. I wouldn't necessarily say it was relief, but we needed to get that game on Saturday. It was vital for our postseason hopes, and now I think you more or less look at it like these are opportunities. If you look at it and say, "Wow, I'm really nervous here. I got to go play these heavy hitters on the road. It's not looking too good." No, if you have that type of attitude, you're not going to have a lot of success. I think we have to look at it like, all of these games, these next three, could change the direction of our season in a positive way if we're able to, to figure out a way to win some of these last three.
And with the last three games, I mean, they are these heavy hitters, three of the best teams. Do you feel like they're must-wins?
I don't think they're all must-wins. I think that, we're 19-9. I think the goals have to be at this point to figure out how to stay in the top four, because that's where we are right now, and then that assures you get the bye in the Pac-12 tournament. And then the other thing is, like, we're right there with the quality of our wins and our record that, if we are able to get any of these done, I think it puts us in a stronger position. And certainly we would, if we only, let's say, win one of these three, we would most likely have to go and win a couple of games in Vegas. But the level of these opponents could change your net rankings and your quad one wins and all the things that everyone talks about for NCAA tournament participation.
Obviously, we talk about that stuff nonstop, but as a coach with your guys, I mean, how much do you talk about that more so than just talking about, hey, we got to take care of business one game at a time?
Yeah, it's been really cool, these games where we're sitting in these huddles at the under 4 and it's a 2-point game and it's a tie game, and we've been in that spot so many times. It's like, we were there again with Utah and reminded the guys, hey, we were here doing this with Creighton, and look what we were able to do. And, we've beaten good teams in close games, and we know how to do it. And so playing in those games, I think, really prepares you. So it's been exciting, and the guys have fought and battled. And, our record is really good in quad 1 and quad 2. We've been able to accumulate wins in those quads. There are other teams out there right now that don't even have a quad 1 win that somehow have higher net ranking than us. So there are teams out there that are below 500 that have a higher net ranking than us, which is shocking. So I don't know how all this stuff plays itself out, but we just got to handle our business at this point.
When you look at the games that you guys have played this season, outside of a few non-conference games and the Michigan game in Brooklyn, there's a lot of close games here. How important do you think that is going into tournament time?
You got to want it. You got to embrace it. I've told the guys, even in overtime versus Cal, we haven't won an overtime game. Let's go do that. At Stanford, let's close it out. We get, when you're playing games in the NCAA tournament, those teams have proven to be good enough that it's going to be very rare that you're going to blow a team out like in the NCAA tournament. So you're going to be in these dog fights, and you got to figure out how to rely on your defense, how to play smart, how to execute, and all the little things, making your free throws, blockouts, all the things that you have to do to win games.
I have a non-ASU question for you. Obviously, you're focused on your team, but coaching change at Duke after so many years. Just have you paid attention to what John's been doing, and what do you think about Duke this season under him?
I think it's a similar blueprint that you've seen with Duke. They've obviously gravitated to young talent and freshmen, and so with that you're going to have some ups and downs certainly, and I think they're experiencing some of that. But very very talented team. I've only watched I think 2 games so far. It's just been a lot of conflict with our schedule. I've probably watched a lot more UConn with my brother than Duke this year, but he's going to be fine. It's there's always an adjustment to find a big difference between moving over assistant coach to head coach, finding your voice, your style, understanding all the things that happen, all the decisions you have to make. It's just like way different. So I'm sure he's going through that transition.
This is kind of a random one. Obviously, the record in the black jerseys this year hasn't been all that great. Do you think we're going to see that at all the rest of the season?
Look, I'm embracing the black jerseys. I'm good. I feel like the San Francisco game and all my superstitions, I told our operations guy, man, I don't ever want to see those black uniforms again. And as it turned out, I said, I got to stop with this. And I was thinking about the black uniforms for the road going to the Bay, and ironically, the players went to our operations guy and say, hey, we want to wear black. And I was like, let's do it. So it was the Stanford game, and able to get a win with the black uniforms, and unfortunately they didn't come through with the Colorado game. But I'm not gonna give up on it yet.
I love the black uniforms. So,
final question from me, Coach. Going back to 2019 and 2020, we were talking about it, how excited we were to see that team if they would have been able to play into the tournament. Do you think that was your most talented team?
I mean, I loved the Dort Cheatham team. The defense, the rebounding. I just think we had, and I don't want to sit here and make excuses, but having to go to Dayton, again, when we finished second in the league that year and had 12 wins, and I was like, all right, let's go do it. But then we had to fly that same night to Columbus, or is that where we were, Columbus or Tulsa? I forget what the hell.
I think it was Tulsa. Yeah.
Tulsa.
It was Tulsa. I mean, we got in that next morning at like 5 o'clock, and like the guys were like zombies all day, and we had other stuff we had to do, media and practice and different things, and I just never felt like we were ourselves in that game with Buffalo. But and they were really good. But I thought that team was good. I love my guard U team, although we lost our way. That team was so dynamic.
Similar situation, right?
But I think with that team that you're talking about, it was the best year that the Pac-12 has had maybe since my first year, in terms of just having so many teams take care of business in non-conference, where it's such a valued as such a strong league, that we were able to get momentum late. And I think that was probably the best my teams have played late in the season.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it, and you taking the time, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Coach.